Hi Libra, welcome to your October 2021 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So if you are celebrating this month, a happy damn birthday to you. I truly hope that you have an amazing solar return, and remember to fill the day of your birthday with a little bit of everything that you want this entire year ahead to have in it. And also, if you know what your personal year is, head over to my numerology project. It's in its own place, it's in its own playlist, so you can see what the what 2022 has in store for you. All right, with that said, for your actions and options this month, you have the King of Pentacles. So this is all about your work, your career, your livelihood. In a lot of ways, I think this is about a lot of you chasing whatever is your personal next step. Like wherever you go from here, this is about you being really honest and open with yourself more than anybody else about what it is that you actually want, what it is that you truly want on the material plane. This is going to see you very focused on the career, very focused on your professional outlook, and possibly even on your finances and your resources as well. Now, that being said, remember this could be an earth sign male, Taurus, Capricorn or a Virgo. This is in your options and actions, and that's why I talked about, you know, your career and stuff at the beginning, because as an experience it's often to do with that. Now, interestingly enough, as a person, this could be somebody that you're interacting with. This could be a benefactor, somebody that comes in to assist you or give you a different perspective, or maybe even a foot up the ladder in some way, shape or form. So keep your eyes peeled for that. For your communications and conversations, you have the Hanged Man. So whatever information you are privy to this month, it looks like you're either not supposed to share it, or there is a slowdown here somewhere, right? So in a lot of ways, this could suggest that whatever you are heading towards working hard on when it comes to the career, there's a part of you that kind of says, right, okay, now I'm going to have to slow this down. Now I'm going to have to take my time with whatever it is that I'm doing. So this is, you know, like when you're in the pursuit of a new job, it's all hurry, you know, rush in, like you all of that kind of stuff. And then when you get the job, it's like, right, okay, now I have to go through the process of learning the entire spectrum of what it is that I'm going to be doing. This could be like that. Now, if you are waiting on some form of correspondence, it looks like there's going to be a snag likely because of the Mercury retrograde. But remember, this gives you an opportunity to rectify something that maybe you're not happy with. In a lot of ways, this is actually a good thing, because it suggests that whatever the delay is, it gives you time to look over something again, to spot any mistakes that might be there, or to spot anything that actually, now that I dig deeper into it, this contract isn't right, or there's stuff here that I was promised, or there's stuff that's missing here that I was promised, or there's stuff here that I wasn't told about that is actually in the contract. There's something this month that, because the communications are slowing down, and because it's the Hanged Man after all, there's a little bit of a nebulous energy about this card. You are having to revise, you're having to really reassess in a lot of ways what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're tying yourself to, and whether you're actually on the same page as someone or something as you originally thought. So this could be a very, very interesting month in that regard. When it comes to your love and relations, you have the Emperor. So you've got this coupled with the Hanged Man, right? Now, what that tells me is some of your commitments on the personal level this month could be coming up for review. You might be having a look at what or who you're tied to, why you're tied to them. Let's say you are employing your partner's sister because, you know, they needed a job and your restaurant needed a waitress. and then actually you realize this person is completely wrong for the job, and it's now starting to affect my marriage because, you know, it's causing fights and arguments. There's some sort of tie here that is likely to be up for review this month. So, and I don't even feel like it's necessarily a problem so much with you. It's almost like that whole guilty by association type of thing. And I kind of feel like you're at that point now where you're like, okay, I need to say something because this is encroaching on my personal life. So just keep that in mind if you're partnered, married, or in a long-term relationship. It's also as well worth saying, sometimes our partner and our friends just don't mesh. And sometimes they're not supposed to, right? Perfect example, my previous relationship, there were friends of this person's that I was just like, oh, I can't stand that person. I mean, I was proved right in the end because, you know, all jokes aside, sometimes it is that way, and we have to agree to disagree. It's like, you know what, not all of your people are my people, and not all of my people are your people, and that's just the way of it. Now, that being said, for those of you that are single, if you are meeting someone this month, I have to say this, older doesn't necessarily always mean wiser, okay? And this month you could discover that if you are aligning yourself with someone that you... I kind of get this feeling that on the surface they talk a good game about how settled and established they are, and then when you do a little bit of digging beneath the surface, you're like, yeah, actually, you know, this person's still got a little bit of development to do, and I'm not sure I'm ready to wait that long. For your money and materials, you have the Emperor. So for those of you that have children and or young people in the family, a very spirited Aries teenager or fiery young person may this month present to you and ask you for money, may ask to borrow some money for something. And it's going to be up to you to maybe be the sane ahead, or to at least check in with them about whatever mischief they are going to get themselves into. Yours could be the voice of reason this month, but more importantly, yours could be the voice that says, okay, you know, I'm not going to be able to stop you from doing whatever it is that you're planning, but I can at least manage the situation. That could go a long way this month. Now, aside from that, when it comes to your personal finances, this is, you are able to really ramp up the finances this month. Maybe this is that you get extra work. Maybe this is that you find a second job. Maybe this is that the side hustle or the side business really takes off. There is good extra money coming in this month, but you are having to work that much more for it. So it's kind of like, you know, how many hours in a day? How long is a piece of string? You have to gauge how much of this you can do and how much of it you can't. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I love this card for that. Excuse me, it's like a yawn and a cough all in one. I love this card for health because it always says that you've got bags of energy. So, and it kind of tracks as well, right? When you think about the fact that you've got the sun now in your sign, it's pouring light, heat, vitality, you know, sustenance, I guess, into your sign. So you're being refreshed and reborn in some way. So, you know, that could be good. Your first week of the month, you have the Hermit card coupled with the King of Pentacles. That's very likely to be a Virgo male, could feature for you this month, especially right here at the beginning of the month. This could be somebody that helps you out, somebody that's a benefactor, like I said, but it could just as easily be a teacher, a mentor, or somebody that's pushing you in a specific direction. And I get the feeling that you might be like, why do you care? You're pushing me to do this. You're pushing me to you know, get into this, but what do you get out of it? And they might say to you, actually nothing. I just see a lot of potential in you, or for something that you could possibly go on to do. On a more personal level, because this is about your actions and interactions with the world at large, this could literally be you pulling yourself away, but not because you're wanting to hide from the world, but because you're focused on a very specific goal. For your second week of the month, wrong deck, you have the World card with the Hanged Man. Okay, so One of the positive ways this could show up is the second week of the month could see you finding or connecting to a very spiritual group. Maybe you're building the tribe as opposed to finding one. Maybe you are creating the tribe. Maybe you're realizing that actually the tribe that I have doesn't reflect who I am anymore or who I'm choosing to become. And so I have to build a new one, find a new one, source a new one. In a lot of ways though, I actually really like this for you. For your third week of the month, you've got the Hanged Man, so you've got a double dose of that Hangman energy. Now, on its sort of other end of its spectrum, what is the Hanged Man about? It's about what we sacrifice, what we let go of, what we release. Now, this isn't to say that in the third week, all Librans are suddenly going to end their relationships. What it means is that there is going to be some sort of give and take that has to happen in your relationship in order to salvage the way that things usually are. So the status quo of your relationship is that it ticks on like everybody else. You have your good days, your bad days. It is what it is, but you always pull through. This connection or commitment to a loved one's family member or friend or whatever that seems to be encroaching on the partnership or the relationship, this, I would say probably around the third week of the month, you'd probably be having an interesting conversation with the partner about removing this person from your situation or whatever it is that this person is causing challenge or issue with or to your relationship through. It's like you're saying, you know what, okay, I'll take this one on the chin. I will pay them for the next 3 months, but I don't want them to work at the restaurant anymore. As an example, to follow on from what I said earlier, maybe, you know, your partner says to you, look, do you know what, babe, I really don't like your friends. When you go out with them, please don't invite me. There's something here that you're having, there's a caveat, right? You're having to say, okay, you know what, fine, this can't happen. It's not good for us. I'm pulling out or you're pulling out, and you just have to kind of be okay with it. For your fourth week of the month, you have the Sun card. So for a lot of you Librans, there's travel on the horizon. I mean, this fourth week of the month could definitely see you traveling. I have to say, with that Knight of Wands in the sector of money and materials, there's a couple of ways this could show up. One, a spontaneous trip could come up. Maybe a friend says, look, I've got this ticket, you know, I'll do it for you for half price. I just want somebody to go with. Spontaneous travel, yes, please. But it could just as easily be that you get something at a really good price from, you know, in terms of some sort of travel. I don't feel like this is planned for a lot of you though. I feel like it's just going to show up and you're going to be like, both feet. All right, so for your moons, you get one new moon and one full moon per year, unless of course this year you were an Aquarius, because we had 2 full moons in Aquarius. But your new moon in the sign of Libra, you have the Gate 5 and Patience. And the reminder with this card is, even when you can't see where it's coming from, there will always be another meal. There will always be another opportunity. There will always be another something. Let the new moon, that is your new moon of the year, your birthday new moon, let that lead the way to what is trying to break its way into your life. I would say this year, rather than setting intentions around that new moon, just pay attention to what shows up. You know, ask the universe, just say, look, you know what? I'm open to whatever you send me, providing it's for my highest good. All right? And leave it open and just see what develops. If there is something that you decide that you want to intend on, that you want to use that new moon to sow a seed of some sort, then really, in a lot of ways, I would do so, but remain open to the ways that that could happen. You know, don't say like, I want a new car, but it has to be a 1973 blue automatic, because then you create a bottleneck, right? When the universe might say, well, you know what, actually there's this car contest that you entered and you're going to win. And it happens to be something completely different to what you wanted. Well, it's still a car. So just to give you an idea of how this might show up for you. And then for your full moon, you have the Gate 22 and Grace. Grace is something that I definitely attribute to your sign. Libra, for me, is the sign of grace and poise and, you know, all of those wonderful things. But this full moon is going to highlight to you 2 things. One, where your relationship needs to be given more grace or more refinement. Reason being because you've got the swan on the card and they mate for life, right? So it's not about ending a relationship, it's about removing the things that are jabbing at the relationship and making it uncomfortable. That full moon might really highlight that for you, especially because it's happening in your opposite sign of Aries. That being said, on top of that, you've got this, with this card, it really basically says to you, create for the sake of creating, not for likes or shares or subscribes or any of that, right? Make something, do something just sheerly because you love it. That is when you are tapped into grace, really. When you do something just because you love it, whether you're good at it or not is irrelevant, right? Gosh, me in the shower. Or sometimes I'll just put karaoke tunes on in my headphones and, you know, sing out loud. It's not about getting a praise or applause or whatever. It's just about doing something that you love to do from that creative space. This month, use that full moon to highlight what you love to do and do it well. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Happy damn birthday to you if you're celebrating this month. Take care and I'll see you soon.